Sunday morning meditation on this perfect first day of the new year. Happy New Year to everyone. This morning's meditation will be by Yogananda. So I invite you in this moment now to just close your outer eyes and take some deep breaths, fully arriving in the moment we're in. Letting go of whatever it took to get to this place now. Just being, breathing, here and now. Our meditation is titled, I am in all places. Spirit speaks. I am beholding through the eyes of all. I am working through all hands. I am walking through all feet. The brown, white, olive, yellow, red, and black bodies are all mine. I am thinking with the minds of all. I am dreaming through all dreams. I am feeling through all feelings. The flowers of joy blooming on all heart tracks are mine. I am eternal laughter. My smiles are dancing through all faces. I am the waves of enthusiasm in all God-tuned hearts. I am the wind of wisdom that dries the sighs and sorrows of all humanity. I am the silent joy of life moving through all beings. God's vastness I glimpsed in the skies of quietness. The joy I tasted in the fountains of my existence, his voice I heard in my unsleeping conscience. Heavenly Spirit, teach me to find the freedom in thee, that I may know nothing on earth belongs to me. All belongs only to thee. Teach me to know my home is in thine omnipresence. O cosmic silence, I hear thy voice through the murmur of brooks, the song of birds, the sound of an autumn leaf, the last leaf touching down, in the beat of ocean waves, a child's laughter, in the hum of vibration. Teach me to behold thy vastness, thy changelessness behind all things, that I may perceive myself as part of thy changeless being. Divine Spirit, break the boundaries of the little waves of my life, that I may join the ocean of thy vastness. In the hall of creation, O Divine Mother, everywhere I hear the rhythm of thy footsteps, dancing wildly in the booming thunder and softly in the song of atoms. I will conflagrate all space and roll over its bosom, unburnt and deathless. I will dive into infinity, never reaching the end. I will run and race and spread my laughter in all things, in all motion, and in the motionless void. I will consciously receive the light of the omnipresent Spirit constantly passing through me. Let me behold not but beauty, not but good, not but truth, not but thine eternally immortal fountain of bliss. Awaken me, O heavenly Spirit, that I may arise from the confining tomb of flesh into the consciousness of my cosmic body. Unite my love with thy love. Unite my life with thy joy, and my mind with thy cosmic consciousness. O mighty ocean, I pray that the rivers of my desires, meandering through many deserts of difficulties, may merge in thee. As we begin to bring our attention back into the body density, as we go forward, moving through this new year, riding on the breath of God, I invite you to find ways to filter through the spirit that you are, through the cosmic consciousness that you are in all situations, to know that the nearness of spirit is as close as your breath, always available. So we can use that as our filter for every situation to let it sift through there, making our way a little straighter, a little easier. Allowing us to be the beings that we are. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We hope you'll stay tuned for our service at 10:15. Come celebrate with us. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I'm so very grateful for those of you that are here in the sanctuary and for those that have invited us into your homes today. My name is Dusty Rippelmeyer, for those who may not know me, and I am the spiritual director of this amazing community. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living, and Centers for Spiritual Living believe that there is one power and presence back of everything that there is, seen and unseen, and that we were created in its image and likeness. And because it is creative, then we too are creative. And in fact, we create the experiences of our lives, whether we do so consciously or whether we do so unconsciously. So we come together on Sundays and Wednesdays on Zoom and through classes and social events to support each other as we walk this spiritual path, to remind each other who we really are and about that power that is greater than we are, that we can use, and we support each other as we do so. So I'm very grateful for your presence here today. So I begin my announcements this morning with a thank you to the entire community. The outreach community would like to thank everyone who made a donation, a financial donation, or donated toys for the Toys for Tot program. We received over $400 worth of donations to support the program. So thank you again so very much. Now, absolutely. Give yourselves a hand. So the first Sunday of our month is our monthly celebration for all of those that are celebrating their birthdays during that month, which of course is the current month is January. So we would love to be able to speak your name into the room. However, we do not want to leave even one person off the list. So we are simply dedicating today's flowers to everyone with a birthday in January. So see if this sounds like, do we have any January birthday people in the room? Yes. Happy birthday. So see if this sounds like you. If you observe January born people, you will find that they are kind and quite generous. They do not like hurting anyone. They prefer assisting and supporting others and encouraging them to achieve whatever they want. Those who are born in January are known to have a good sense of humor. You will never feel bored when you are around someone who is born in January. These people will lighten up the mood of the people around them and will make sure that you never feel sad or upset. If you know a January born person, you will agree that he or she is quite independent and bold. People born in January will hardly bother anyone and will make sure to bear the burden on their own. They prefer solving the problem on their own, no matter how tough the situation is. Since these people are quite optimistic, you will find them to be highly motivated and enthusiastic. They have a strong mental and emotional strength that assists them in making the best out of whatever they do. You will find them inspiring, and you will always get a dose of motivation when you're feeling low yourself. People born in January are always on their toes to lead their group, irrespective of the situation. It would not be wrong to say that leadership is one of their most prominent personality traits. They are born leaders and understand the importance of teamwork. If you know a January born, you will agree that they are quite comfortable in adapting to any situation. You will find them to be calm and optimistic even during the darkest days. They are spontaneous and unpredictable, and you will find them coming up with some out-of-the-box ideas. Their spontaneous acts and jokes will not only amaze you, but will also make you enjoy the moment with them. And lastly, January-born people are party animals. It doesn't matter if they've had a bad day or if they are ill when it comes to a party. All they want is an occasion full of entertainment, music, and fun. If you're looking for someone who can add some fun and enjoyment to your party, then consider inviting a January-born friend. So happy birthday to everyone who was born in the month of January. Now, we're going to be talking a little bit today about 2023 Sundays and the theme of the year and all of that. But I want to talk a little bit specifically about Wednesdays. So, Wednesday evenings, we have a service. And for the last few years, that service has been online. And we do it on Zoom so that everybody can interact with each other. We're changing it up a little bit this year. And the theme for the year for CSL is living out loud. And so, beyond our Sunday exploration of the theme, the invitation is to also join us on Wednesdays, where we will be continuing to dive a little bit deeper into that theme through the monthly themes throughout the entire year. Now, we're going to do this through the Wisdom of New Thought books, some lessons from movies, and the joy of living one's passion. Uh, each month will be, like I said, a different theme that's in alignment with the Sunday theme. And each week's focus may be brought to you by a minister or by a practitioner or by a community member. So this year, we're really looking towards the community members to bring their wealth of knowledge and insight into these conversations. Um, and we'll do that through maybe just a simple message, or maybe it might be a panel discussion, or it could be like an interview process. We'll do a couple of book studies over the year and a month where we look at the metaphysical meanings with a few more popular movies. But otherwise, we're really going to be diving into how do we as a community, individually and collectively, live our lives out loud through these different themes that we have each. So, for instance, one theme is living out loud authentically. So, how do people in our community live their lives out loud authentically? And we'll have a chance to hear from them and to be able to have conversation with them. And in doing so, it will inform our own lives, how we can live our own lives more authentically, for example. But we have 12 great themes, monthly themes, and we'll begin that this coming Wednesday. So please consider joining us on Zoom. The link will be on the Wednesday newsletter. So if you get that Wednesday newsletter, you'll have the link. Otherwise, let Heather know if you need to get the newsletter if you're not getting it already. So the last thing before we get started in the day is I want to start with a story. And this story comes to us from Reverend Scott Aubrey. It seems that a man decided to write a book about churches across the country. And he started by flying to San Francisco, and he started working his way east from there. He went to a very large church and began taking photographs and talking with people. And he spots a golden telephone on a wall and is intrigued by a sign that says $10,000 a minute. Seeking out the pastor, he asks about the phone and the sign. The pastor answers that this golden phone is, in fact, a direct line to heaven, and that if he pays the price, he can talk directly to God. He thanks the pastor and continues on his way. As he continues to visit churches in Seattle, Boise, Minneapolis, Chicago, Milwaukee, New York, Atlanta, and on around the United States, he finds more phones with the same sign and the same answer from each pastor. But this time, finally, he arrives at a New Thought church. Upon entering, he sees the usual golden telephone. But this time, the sign reads, calls 25 cents. Fascinated, he requests to talk to the pastor. Reverend, I've been in cities all across this country and in all kinds of church, and in each church I have found this golden telephone and have been told that it's a direct link to heaven and that I could talk to God. But in the other churches, the cost was $10,000 a minute. Your sign reads 25 cents a call. Why? And the pastor smiles benignly, replies, "Oh, my son, that's very easy to explain. You see, we know here that God is within you, and it's a local call from here." So I would like to take a moment to thank the lovely Michelle Love for her beautiful meditation, which set the stage for our service to unfold within. So thank you very much, Michelle. And speaking of Michelle, let's welcome her back to the podium.
Thank you, Dusty. So, as Dusty mentioned earlier, our theme for the year 2023 is Living Out Loud. And our theme for the month of January is Root and Reboot. Reverend Dusty's talk title today is God is a Concept. I'm now going to read this community's purpose statement. This is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives into being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. And so it is. So now I invite you to close your outer eyes, and we will turn within, opening our heart and mind, allowing the healing sounds of the crystal bowls to simply wash over you.
morning and Happy New Year. My name's Heather Abbott. I am honored to serve this community as a practitioner, and I am also honored to be here today to do our Blessing of All Faith ceremony. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths as represented by this ceremony. Please welcome BJ and Carol, who will be assisting us this morning. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is. Thank you, ladies. And now if you'd please turn within, closing your outer eyes if you're comfortable, as I speak a word of blessing on today's service. Recognizing the one source, the one power, the one presence back of all of creation. Knowing that source is God, as nature, as love, as peace, whatever name that you attach to that presence, it is all the same. There is only one. I know that I am one with it, that I am imbued with all of the qualities of spirit, that I am having this human experience as a spiritual being, so blessed to have these senses to experience this life for God. I know that as the truth of me, as I know it as the truth of each person within the sound of my voice, each sentient being on earth, that we are only all one. I'm so grateful for today's service, for the technology that allows us to be seen and heard online, and to also have the best service in person. I'm so grateful for our community that allows us to gather, like-minded and also so diverse, to practice this faith, this way of life, to share our journey with each other, to make friends, and to open our hearts to relationships that bring such goodness to our lives. I'm so grateful for our amazing Reverend Dusty, for the love that she embodies, for the connection that she has with so many of us in the community, for the leadership, for the guidance, for the compassion that she shows us. I'm grateful for Michelle for coming in today and setting the container with her beautiful meditation. I'm grateful for her service to our community as a practitioner, and just for the shining light that she is. I'm grateful for Ava holding down the AV today, for her tireless service to our community, allowing us to be streamed online and to handle all the AV duties here in person. And I'm grateful for Sandy Hemingway, who comes forth today with his beautiful gift of music. It always enriches the service so amazingly. And I'm grateful for each of you here today, in person, watching online, or possibly viewing this in the future. I'm grateful for your presence in this community, for your presence in my life, and for all that you give, all the gifts and treasures that you share with us. For all of these many blessings, I am so grateful. And I ask you to anchor this by saying, and so it is. Thank you. Today's reading is from Ernest Holmes. He says, the divine spirit is not a mythical, abstract being living somewhere above this earth. God is a divine presence revealing itself to everyone who believes. Where God is recognized, there is life. Where the presence of God is realized, there is action. Where the goodness of God is acknowledged, there is peace. And now, the amazing Sandy.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
To start out the new year, I'm going to play a new song. This is brand new. I wrote it in December. It's called Out of My Mind. I'm getting out of my mind. I'm going out of the door. I'm giving up on despair. It's time, I'm sure. I've got a quest to fulfill. I have a path to decide. I've got a new life to build. I'm getting out of my mind and into my heart. It's time to reset. It's time to depart. It's time to move on and learn to be free. It's time to get strong. It's time to be me. I'm getting out of my mind. I once lived a life of wonder. I once lived a life of peace. Then my heart was torn asunder. I was driven to my knees. And now I'm back at the beginning, wondering where this road will lead. But I'm not concerned with winning now. I've got everything I need. I'm getting out of my mind. I'm getting out of my mind. I'm going out of the door. I'm getting I'm sure I've got a quest to fulfill. I've got a path to decide. I've got a new life to build. Getting out of my mind and into my heart. It's time to reset. It's time to depart. It's time to move on and learn to be free. It's time to get strong. It's time to be me. Getting out of my mind. Getting out of my mind. Getting out of my mind. Getting out of my mind.
Woo!
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful song, Sandy, and the perfect welcome to 2023. Filled with lots of energy and great ideas and inspiration. Thank you so very much for that. Happy New Year to those of you who may have just arrived in the sanctuary or joined us online. What I know is that 2023 is a divine idea in the mind of God. It is already whole, perfect, and complete. We are simply allowing it to flow through and as us individually and collectively and hopefully what I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I affirm and I claim and I proclaim and I declare that 2023 is a magnificent year for each and every single one of us. Woo! Now, the CSL theme, as you heard today for 2023, is living out loud. And the underlying idea is that as we learn or perhaps are reminded of the CSL principles and practices, that it's important to live them, to not just hide them under a bushel basket, but to live them each and every single day. And finding ways to live them fully in our everyday life is the real and very practical goal of Science of Mind. For 2023, the Centers for Spiritual Living global themes are calling us into the fullest expression of who we really are and who we have come here to be. Sandy just sang about it. We are ready to go. Throughout the year, we're being encouraged to really live our lives boldly and bravely in every arena, in each and every single relationship and in every circumstance that we find ourselves in. The intention is that the messages inspire us to be a daring embodiment of the teaching, and that they develop within us a willingness and an attitude of truly living our life out loud. Can you imagine if we all did that? How amazing it would be. The theme for the month of January is Root and Reboot. Now, we begin the year, as we typically do in Centers for Spiritual Living across the planet, with an examination of the fundamental practices and principles of Science of Mind. And so this month, we're focusing on the universality of the teaching, with an emphasis on the truth that we are not just of spirit, but that we are in spirit. And as we remember our divine essence, then we take our rightful place within the whole. And when we do that, we take personal responsibility for our actions, and we extend generosity and compassion to everyone we meet. We deepen our practice not only for the benefit of ourselves, but for the benefit and the enrichment of the whole of humanity and for all of God's creatures and for the earth itself. As I took a look at the month as a whole, I realized that the talk titles and the messages that they represented actually laid out the 5 steps of a science of mind prayer treatment. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with science of mind prayer, affirmative prayer is not begging and beseeching. It's not your faith tradition usual way of praying. No begging, no beseeching, no coercing, or like, if you do this, I'll do that. But it's a recognition and an acceptance of the fact that God is all that there is no space, no spot where God is not, that we are all spiritual beings right here and right now, and that all the abundance, joy, peace, wisdom, creativity, and love of the universe is already ours. Already ours. Sandy's saying about it, it's already ours if we choose to embody it and to accept it. So the 5 steps that we practice when we do a science of mind treatment or affirmative prayer provide a structure and a technique that really empower this process. So many of you learned this in foundations class, but it's always a good reminder because prayer is so very important to the conscious creation of the experiences of our lives. So the 5 steps or stages are recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. In the recognition step, we recognize that God is all that there is. And this step allows us to remember that which is back of everything, the power and presence of the divine. We take a moment at the beginning of the prayer to really bring into our conscious awareness that God is within us and surrounding us, just a 25-cent call away. The tagline for this step is God is, and the feeling tone is awe. Now, the talk title representing this step is today's talk title, which is God is a concept. In the unification step, which is the second step, we unify our thinking with God, recognizing that our mind is an individualization of God's mind. Even though we know that prayer is that, or that God is the only intelligence, this knowledge does absolutely nothing for us unless we identify with it, unless we remember our oneness with the divine presence back of all of it. So we use the words that really allow us to feel that unity with that presence. Our own words, not somebody else's words, but the words that allow us to feel that unity, that deep and abiding connection. The tagline of this step is I am, and of course the feeling tone is unity. Now the talk title representing this step is the universal voice, and that will be next week. Realization is the next step. The word realization means to make real. And in this step, we use positive affirmations. We speak in the first person. We use real-time words, not will be or someday down the road, but now. And we use words that align us with that which we desire. We use words that claim right here and right now the thing that we desire is already ours. Even though it might not currently be our experience on the human plane, but what we know is that on the spiritual side of life, it is already so. It is already so, just waiting for us to be in alignment with it. Now, during this step, we consciously erase or dissolve anything unlike that truth. We consciously erase or dissolve anything which caused the difficulty in our lives, right? So the the old ways of thinking, the old thoughts, the old beliefs that we had, we consciously dissolve or erase them. And we are willing to give up those false beliefs, to surrender them, to surrender the old attitudes and opinions, and use whatever words are needed to establish the feeling tone of someone who already has the thing or is being the thing that we desire to have or to be. In spiritual mind treatment, the realization that a desired good already is, that it already exists within us, replaces any belief that we might have in lack and limitation. There is no power greater than the power and presence of God. And so that thought of lack and limitation pales when we begin to know the truth and to identify with the truth, and then to claim that truth as ours. The bottom line is that the more we confirm within our own minds the wholeness of spirit and align our thinking with this spiritual truth, the more wholeness that we will actually experience in our own lives. The new thought, that this new belief takes form through the action of the creative process. The tagline of this step is, I know, and the feeling tone is confidence. The talk title representing this step is the third Sunday of the month, called the Internal Song. In the Thanksgiving step, we speak to our gratitude for the demonstration of our words, for the demonstration of our prayer, even as we are in the moment speaking it. Knowing that our words are loosed into a law, this creative medium that clothes our words in form, that absolutely just says yes. Like a genie, when you rub that lamp, it just says yes. So the creative process is always working for our highest and best. And our words create a new mental image, a new mental cause in our minds, and we set that into motion through the realization step, and then we give thanks for it in the Thanksgiving step. The tagline is, I am grateful, and of course, the feeling tone is gratitude. The talk title representing this step is Getting High on Gratitude. And we have the lovely Armand and Angelina here to speak with us about that. The last step is release. And in this step, we mentally let go and let the law or that creative process work out the good that we have established in our mind, which is the mind of God. We're no longer concerned about the situation. We release it, we let it go, and we're free to act as though the demonstration is already complete. I love that word, free to act as though the demonstration is already complete. The tagline is, I release, and the feeling tone is completion. The talk title associated with this step for the fifth Sunday of the month is Celebrating Life as Source. We begin today at the beginning, with God is a concept. When we think about God as a concept, to borrow John Lennon's famous words, Babs, we free ourselves from the yoke of human religious history. We free ourselves from the yoke of human religious history. While it is impossible for the infinite to grasp the meaning, or the finite to grasp the meaning of the infinite, we believe that God is not a person. We believe that God is not a person that is outside of us, sitting on some cloud somewhere, doling out favors and punishments at whim. We don't believe that it costs $10,000 to have a conversation with the God of our being. Science of mind thinks of God as a universal principle, a universal intelligence and power, the essence and energy of all nature. God as a concept in our world allows us to consider God as a creative force in our own individual lives. God is not out there. It's the essence of who we are. It's a universal principle that exists in all people throughout all of time, with absolutely no exception. We believe that God is infinite potential, infinite givingness, and infinite aliveness that shines through all sentient beings as the essence of love and peace and joy and creativity and wisdom and kindness and freedom and grace and love, all good things. God is an inner feeling, something that we sense deep within us. One of the fundamental propositions of science of mind is that God is all that there is. When we say God is all that there is, we mean everything. Everything, seen and unseen. When we say that God is all that there is, we mean everything, all possibility and all action. When we say that God is all that there is, we mean that God is the invisible essence and substance of all forms. In the beginning, God, and out of that God substance came everything else. It is everywhere at all times, in its fullness and in its wholeness. We are swimming in a sea of God stuff. How lovely is that? Universal spirit is without form, and yet it expresses itself as all forms. Hold that for a little minute. It's without form, but it expresses itself as all forms. There's no space where God is not. We believe that within each of us is a spark of the divine, that we have within us an inherent power and presence that is a complete and unique manifestation of God, created in its image and likeness, not the other way around like we so often try to do. Richard Rohr says the image described in Genesis refers to our eternal essence in God, which cannot be increased or decreased. Likeness refers to our personal and unique embodiment of that inner divine image. It is our gradual realization of this gift, the greatest gift that we could have ever been given. It's our original blessing. We are the recipients, the containers of this gift. We have nothing to do or nothing to be in order to deserve this gift. It is our divine birthright. It is our true self, that self with a capital S. In the beginning, when we first arrived on the planet, we knew this eternal truth. We knew our oneness with God, that God is within us and surrounding us. Over time, however, we, like Adam and Eve, buy into the delusion and we fall from our original innocence. We begin to believe in separation. We begin to believe that we are standing apart from God, apart from each other, and apart from life itself. Over time, the idea that the Father and I are one no longer feels like the truth. But it is the truth. God hasn't changed. Our thoughts have. And even though it might not feel like this, the fundamental truth is that the divine is incarnate in everything and everyone. Science of mind believes that all people are incarnations of the one Spirit, and this divine light shines through all things. There cannot be the presence of God in just some of us, in some sentient beings, but not in other sentient beings. If God is anywhere, God has to be everywhere. Can't be a little piece of it over here and a little piece over there. It is everywhere at all times, or it's nowhere. And I happen to believe that it's everywhere. No one and no thing is excluded. Now, everything is truly sacred, and yet I know that there are some people and some circumstances that we find ourselves in relationship with or experiencing in our lives that seeing the divinity within them is hard. When we believe that we are separate, we see through lenses that are distorted, lenses that are judgmental, lenses that are filled with fear. And so it clouds our vision of the divinity in others. We're unable to see beyond the behavior to the truth of our spiritual oneness. But it's there. It's there in everyone. And without really being able to see that or to know that in our hearts, then it's hard to find the compassion and the acceptance and the love and the forgiveness that's necessary to really create a world that works for everyone. And that the underlying cause is that belief in separation. Centers for Spiritual Living believe in the incarnation of the Spirit in humankind and that all people are incarnations of the one Spirit. We believe in the unity of all life and that the highest God and the innermost God are one God. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. That lives in close contact with the indwelling God. This is where our spiritual practices come in, right? Meditation, prayer, visioning, contemplation, walks in nature. Reverend Linda McNamara in the Foundations class workbook says, it has been said that God lives at the center of the universe and that the center of the universe is everywhere. It is inside each of us and all around us. We are part of the whole. Our physical and spiritual worlds are not separate worlds, but integral parts of each other. We can feel this life essence when we set aside our false beliefs. It is our consciousness of something greater than our human experience which leads us to the certainty of God within and as all life, including each human being. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this presence. Feeling God's presence is simply a matter of awareness, of being in the present now moment, of getting quiet enough to hear and to feel that presence without all of the distractions of our busy lives. And really being present to the presence in everything and everyone. Being open to seeing that, remembering the truth of who we all are. My guess is that each one of us has had a moment or perhaps many moments in which we felt like we merged with that universal presence, like we felt that moment of deep connection. And it brought us to tears or to our knees. Perhaps it was a beautiful sunset or the birth of a child, or the love expressed by a loved one, or the view from a jet of Mount Fuji over the top, flying over the top, or an extraordinary sunrise, or an exhilarating run down a beautiful mountain peak. Whatever it is for each of us, I'm sure in this moment, each of us can think about that moment, that time when we felt so connected, when we felt the presence of God within us. And the really cool thing is that once we see or feel or just know God in one place, then that circle continues to expand out and out and out. And at some point in time, we will live our lives from a place that recognizes the divinity within everything and everyone. Bring it on. Woo. Because when that happens, we will be filled with awe. Everything, a song that Karen sings quite often, everything is holy now in that moment. We will know that God is all that there is, not just as an intellectual principle, but as a fully embodied truth. It will inform all of our ways of being, all of our actions, all of our beliefs. The bottom line is that everything comes from the one. When we become consciously aware of our spiritual nature and the spiritual nature of everything and everyone, then our lives will expand in richer and fuller ways, ways that we can't even perhaps imagine in this moment. The way to create a world that works for everyone is by beginning to really cultivate this idea of a deep and abiding relationship with the divinity within. Spend that 25 cents. Get connected every day, multiple times each day. The truth is, the old man in the sky is dead. Long live the Spirit, long live Source, long live the spirit of consciousness, the ground of consciousness, the being of us, right? The invitation is to begin our year, this year, 2023, living out loud the way that we were created to, the way that we intend to, with divine intelligence at the center of our being, with divine intelligence at the center of our lives, consciously. So please, really consider joining us on this journey, this deeper journey of living our lives out loud through the teachings of Science of Mind throughout this entire year. And then to really be able to watch as our lives, both individually and collectively, change, and change in many different ways, ways that are wonderful and glorious. It is sure to be a magnificent year if we do so. And so it is. And so I just invite everyone to turn within, to allow ourselves to close our outer eyes and turn away from that world of form and turn our attention inward to that spark of the divine, that inner core of our being, the presence of God, the essence of love, peace, joy, creativity, freedom, and grace. To know beyond a shadow of a doubt that God is, that there is no space where God is not, that it is everywhere in its fullness and in its wholeness, that it truly is a concept, an essence, an energy that is within us and surrounding us. I know that I am one with this power and presence, that it is that which created me in a moment of divine love. It is who and what I really am. And just as I know that this is my truth, I know that it is absolutely the truth of each and every person sitting here today, each and every person watching us live online, each and every person that partakes of this service at some later time. All sentient beings on the planet. We are all connected one to the other through that golden thread of God's stuff that weaves itself throughout all of life. And it is from that place of unity that I speak these words about and for each of us today, truly knowing that we are spiritual beings having a human incarnation, that we are more than these bodies, more than this external circumstance, more than our relationships, that we are a divine being here on purpose, here as an individualized expression of God, here to be God's ambassador of all that God is in our own unique and individualized way, a way that no one else can be in exactly the same way that we are. To me, that makes us pretty darn important. So I claim ease and grace for us as we step into 2023, as we claim our divine birthright, as we honor who we are and who everyone else is at their very core. Knowing that when we do so, we raise each other up, we honor the truth, and we co-create a world that works for everyone. We create a life that we love to live. A life that we wake up for each and every moment, bounding out of bed, shining that infinite givingness and love and aliveness that God is, that we are because of that deep and abiding connection. Nothing is more powerful. I'm so grateful to know this truth and to speak these words. So grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into that law, that creative medium, that energy that clothes my words even as they are spoken. And so I speak them and I release them into that law, letting go and letting God be God. And I invite each of us to anchor this prayer for ourselves, for each other, for our community, and for the world simply by saying, and so it is. And so it is. Amen. Thank you all. It is now time for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of our time, talent, and treasure. And this is a time every week when we offer financial support to assist this community to continue to be a beacon of light and love and warmth in the Greater Triangle area. Together, we affirm that today's gift lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and adds to the energy of sufficiency on the planet. There are several ways that you can give. They're here on the screen. Visit our website at www.trianglecsl.org. You can text the word give to the following number, 919-230-8445, or you could mail your gift to our address at P.O. Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina, 27519. So I just invite everyone to place your hand on your heart with your gift or an intention for yourself or for the community, and we'll say our offering affirmation in a call and response. Please repeat after me. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. Please welcome back to his piano the awesome Sandy Hemingway.
One power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. That's what we are. One power, oh, 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 one power. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon for its love that's most deep. It's one power. Oh, 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 one power. What we are as one power. Oh, it's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Thank you.
Ooh, I have to talk after that. Thank you, Sandy. Amazing. Whew. If you would like prayer, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. And on the homepage, there's a button in the upper right hand corner. Click on that button and fill in the request form. We will get that prayer and send it out to all of the ministers and practitioners. We love praying for you and with you. If you would like to dedicate flower dedication for anyone or anything, we would appreciate it. It helps to beautify this beautiful Sunday setting. And you can contact me at info@trianglecsl.org or Reverend Dusty at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com. Today, I'm so excited. January 1st, it's our visioning workshop. Following service, we will do visioning here, and then we will move next door for creation of our vision boards for 2023. Love looking at that all year long and watching everything come true. If you brought a lunch today, we have some tables set up for you, or you're welcome to run out to an area restaurant and bring something back. And we plan to start visioning around noon, and we will also be live streaming that. So join in and grab some materials to do your vision boards at home if you would like. This is a save the date announcement for an evening of fun, laughter, and musical comedy on Saturday, January 21st. That whole weekend is going to be all Armand and Angelina, and we are so excited to welcome them back. They are international performers and recording artists. They offer a fantastic, uplifting show full of humor, passion for life, and love for each other. They will be performing their humorous songs and spiritual truths in a comedic way. It's been coined a comedy show because this performance is filled with fun songs, skits, crazy costumes, and more. Come see them and learn a new twist on giving and receiving. And they love giving stuff away. The concert is here at 4 Points at Sheridan at 7 o'clock. Suggested love donation is $20. And please RSVP to info@trianglecsl.org. And then that following Sunday morning, Armand and Angelina will join us and provide the meditation, the message, and the music. Their talk title is Getting High on Gratitude. Angelina is a classically trained vocalist who uses her voice to open hearts and bring joy to the world. Armand is an inspirational speaker, musician, and author whose lighthearted approach to spirituality invites us all to live life passionately. Together, using songs, stories, and humor, they remind us that we were meant to experience heaven on earth. Meditation is at 9:45 and service begins at 10:15. And then following the service, about 12:15, join them as they offer each of us the opportunity to take part in a sacred sound meditation. If you haven't experienced something like that, I invite you to please come and do so. It is amazing. They call theirs the Angel Harp and Native Flute Meditation Experience. Those present will feel the powerful healing vibrations as Angelina places her angel harp on each person while playing sacred tones into their bodies. Armand will add Native American flute, shanty bells, singing bowl, rain stick, and other magical sounds to enhance the experience. Everyone is invited to bring a lunch or go to one of the restaurants in this area and get something and bring it back. and we will break bread together after service and before the sound meditation. The suggested love donation is $20, and please RSVP to info@trianglecsl.org. That is our amazing January offering, and we have another amazing February offer. Please mark your calendars, save the date. We don't want you to be busy and miss this. Sunday, February 26th, join us as we welcome the amazing Amy Steinberg back to our center and our family. She's got some fans here today for sure. On that Sunday, she will facilitate the message and the music for our celebration service. Her talk title will be When You Find Your Glow, You Are in the Flow. And Amy knows how to find her glow, that's for sure. Meditations at 9:45 and services at 10:15. And then that day following the service at 12:15, she will be sharing her gifts and talents in a not-to-be-missed concert. She is certainly one of a kind. You will have an amazing experience, I promise. Again, everyone is invited to bring a lunch or go to one of the nearby restaurants and get something and bring back as we break bread together between the service and her concert. The suggested love offering is $20, and please RSVP to info@trianglecsl.org. Now, in the comfort of your own home and here at 4 Points, please stand for our fresh new January affirmations. This is a call and response as always, and please repeat it with meaning. There are some papers on your chairs if you would like to read from that. You're also welcome to take those home with you so you can read those all month long. There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life now.
There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life now.
I am a living embodiment of the divine.
I am a living embodiment of the divine.
Furthermore, I see the entire world as one expression of its power and presence.
Furthermore, I see the entire world as one expression of its power and presence.
Like a moving, living, breathing kaleidoscope of color, we are all connected to the one single source.
Like a moving, living, breathing kaleidoscope of color, we are all connected to the one single source.
Today, I commit to being bold in my expression of life.
Today, I commit to being bold in my expression of life.
I give thanks in advance, knowing with unwavering faith that the good of God is with me each and every day.
I give thanks in advance, knowing with unwavering faith that the good of God is with me each and every day.
I surrender my falsehoods, my fears, and my doubts, freeing myself to live in celebration.
I surrender my falsehoods, my fears, and my doubts, freeing myself to live in celebration.
This one life is my life right now, and I celebrate it out loud.
This one life is my life right now, and I celebrate it out loud.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Whew, thank y'all. That felt great. All right, you may be seated as I speak a word of prayer, of benediction on today's service. Turning within, just soaking in the goodness of today's service, of that recognition of that one source, that one spirit, that one presence back of all there is. I know that we are one with it, that there is no separation, that we are all connected by that divine golden thread that runs through all of creation. I'm so grateful for today's service, for this opportunity to gather, for this opportunity to go back to the basics and recognize that incredible source. I'm grateful for this opportunity to sink into our hearts and to open our minds. This auspicious day of the first of the year to set goals, to reaffirm the way that we want our lives to unfold. And we know that it all begins with our thoughts. That me that I want to bring forth into the world begins with each thought. And I'm so grateful to have this place to come, to love up on each of us in the community, to practice what we preach, working towards a world that works for everyone. I'm grateful for each of you, grateful for this community, grateful for Reverend Dusty, and grateful for this amazing month that we have ahead, this new baby year laying ahead of us to allow us all to unfold in our highest and best. And I ask you to anchor this prayer with me with our words, and so it is.
Thank you all so very much for your presence here today, whether you're here in the sanctuary or online. Again, once again, Happy New Year. Let's make it a great one by living out loud, each and every single one of us. I love you. Bye.